misconception about China, and I think you read an article today in the Wall Street Journal about it. Our people aren't paying for those tariffs. In that case, certainly, China is paying for them, and those companies are paying for them. China devalued their currency very substantially, and they also put a lot of money into their economy. They're pouring money. It's fake money, but it's money. And they're pouring money into their economy to take care of the tariffs. Our people aren't. You don't have increased inflation. You have no increased inflation. But I'll tell you what is happening. Our Treasury is taking in billions and billions of dollars of money that normally would be for China.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk Fake News Media, of course, accusing President Trump of trying to establish a new world order with China after the G20 summit in Japan. But the only new world order that we have established is America first and America sovereignty. So that's that. And we're going to talk about the story over at Facebook where they had to evacuate the headquarters from a mysterious substance found in an envelope, plus a whole lot of other breaking stories. So you guys are going to stick around and check it out. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. As always, I like to begin by saying thank you to everybody who's hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, come here on the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. Of course, we're going to pick up right where we left off. Latest Q post was, as of today, it was about 5 days ago, it was the last post that we have, but Q's in a holding pattern. We have a lot of big stuff coming up, and 4th of July fireworks. There's going to be a lot going on. If you know what I mean. We're going to talk about that at the end of this video. So if you guys are interested in meeting me in Washington, D.C. at the Salute to America being presented by President Trump, where he's going to be speaking, and we're going to have an epic fireworks show, and there's going to be a parade, and it's going to be epic. I'm actually going to be in Washington, D.C. For that event, and I want to talk to you guys about getting together so that we can meet and have a conversation and share in our fellowship and just, you know, sharing the great celebration of America that the 4th of July is. So that's something you guys should stick around for at the end of this video. Of course, before we get into it, I always encourage everyone to come back here, watch these last few videos, share them on your social media, and get the word out that way. Also, if you're scratching your head, go, what is QAnon? What's the Great Awakening? What's this guy talking about? I would encourage you to watch this video, share this on your social media. It's called What is QAnon the Great Awakening? It'll give you all the information you need about QAnon the Great Awakening, how to get involved, where to find the info, how to do the research, anything you want to know pretty much. You can get it through that video, and then I encourage you all to go check that out. Also here, of course, you know, like I always say, with what's happening with YouTube, the suggested videos and all that stuff, the way these algorithms work and the way demonetization goes, and who knows about the way they run this thing, because it's all basically an enigma. They don't tell you anything. There's no transparency. But if you guys want to help get these videos out there, I really would encourage you to hit the share button on this video and get it out that way. So that's a cool way you can help, and I really appreciate your support on that end. Now, here's the story. So this is where I want to start. Obviously, this is being printed by CNBC, and here's the headline. Trump is laying groundwork for a new world order built around the U.S., China, and Russia. So, you know, this is going to be their new talking point, it seems. They're going to start attacking President Trump for his, you know, basically trying to create a new world order. Well, that's what presidents have been doing since, I don't know, the beginning of the United States nearly. There have been global orders that have been established. Now, when you say the word New World Order, it really sounds quite nefarious, and it has a lot of connotations because it's tied to things like George Bush's, you know, speech where he says that they're trying to build a New World Order, and the New World Order in general being referred to as this conglomerate, you know, society of elitists, globalists who are trying to undermine the sovereignty of nations in order to build a unaccountable, unelected network of controllers and authoritarian dictators and bureaucrats who are unaccountable. So to me, I understand, but yeah, there is a new world order. The new world order is this, and I'm going to give you the secret to it all right here. So don't tell anyone, because this is a big secret. America first. Come on, people. This is really not even a news story. So let's get to something that is a news story. Facebook mail site evacuated after possible sarin scare. You guys know what sarin is. That's a nerve agent. Here's the story I'll read it to you, just reported out of the AP, saying a Facebook mail facility near company headquarters was evacuated Monday after a routine check found mail possibly containing the nerve agent sarin. Authorities put the site under quarantine as they conducted additional testing. 4 buildings were evacuated and 3 have been cleared for people to come back in, said Facebook spokesman Anthony Harrison. In a statement, the suspicious package was delivered around 8 a.m. to one of the company's mailrooms. He said authorities have not yet identified the substance found, and there were no reports of injuries. So this is the story that we're getting right now. And I'll tell you what, this is reprehensible. Anybody who would send that kind of agent in is sick, but there's still a lot to be figured out. And we're waiting for the facts to kind of come out in this story even more. But the fact of the matter is, this reminds me of something that happened when I was younger, actually, and it happened near me. That's why I'll never forget it. Actually, it happened very near where I was living, where, if you guys will remember, after 9/11, there were multiple packages being sent to different news organizations that had contained anthrax. And there is a whole rabbit hole to jump down with that, because the stories never really added up that well. And as I recall, the timing was just very suspicious, especially given what just happened in New York and Washington D.C. And it just, all of that really, or at the Pentagon, I should say, but all of that really seemed suspicious to me. And now looking back, doing what I do and seeing the work as it is, I still look back on that instant and think, was there more to it? Especially given one of the targets was a company called, I believe it was AMI. It was an American Media International. It was whatever it was. It was one of the companies that was in charge of, I believe, publishing the National Enquirer or one of those tabloid magazines. So anyway, you can go dig down that rabbit hole if you want, go back and research the anthrax scares of what happened in those days. But, first off, where do you even get this, Sarin? And where do you even get it? It's like, that to me is just the first red flag. It's like, where do you even get these things? And then once you get them, it's like, to do this kind of stuff is just reprehensible, but it is happening. So, of course, here's another story that I thought was interesting. Joe Biden's son, responding to Trump threat to probe Ukraine business ties, says, "F you, Mr. President." Now, this to me is just a complete sign that this is a very scared little boy. And when you look at this, it's basically a quote from an article that was put out there. I guess he was talking to the New Yorker, and it said, here's the quote. It says, "I said, I hope they're taking pictures of us right now," talking about a helicopter that was flying overhead. It says, "I hope it's a live feed of the president so he can see just how much I care about the tweets." He said, "I don't care. F you, Mr. President. Here I am living my life." And here's the story out of the New Yorker talking about, will Hunter Biden jeopardize his father's campaign? What do you mean, will Hunter Biden jeopardize his father's campaign? Will the American people get answers? Like, instead of the New York, like, here, I have a question. Instead of the New Yorker writing some fluff piece that makes Joe Biden's son out to be like some kind of victim in all this, why don't we investigate Joe Biden traveling over to Air Force or over to China on Air Force Two with his son just before his son received a $1.5 billion investment from the Bank of China? And let's talk about how that relates to the concessions that were made in the negotiation process by Joe Biden and Obama's administration of things like, I don't know, the artificial islands in the South China Sea where they have military bases which are extending their influence and control over the free international trade routes, and their concession of the 9-dash line as a territorial claim that was valid for the Chinese, which is basically them taking control of all the South China Sea and removing all other sovereign nations' territorial claims. You don't think that's a payoff? Here, we'll give your son $1.5 billion. You just let us take the South China Sea. And who cares about all the other countries and their claims and the protection of their sovereign waters? No. Give it to China because we want $1.5 billion. That's how corrupt these people are. That's what the sick part of all this is. It's like the cruel joke that never ends. It's like every time you look behind the scenes of one of these individuals, you just find you open the closet and there's just skeletons and corruption and just garbage. And it's quite frustrating. So here's another frustrating situation. We have the former FBI director, supposedly nonpartisan individual, who's tweeting now this. All right, this is literally the tweet that we're getting from him. It says, I hope everyone who wants to defeat Donald Trump participates in the Democratic primary process. The majority who oppose him should choose the candidate to defeat him. Well, thank you so much for that lovely commentary, James. Let me just tell you something. I hope that the lawyers who prosecute you, it is going to happen, I hope they throw the book at you. And I hope that you get the longest possible prison sentence that is humanly possible to be given to a traitor of this country. That's what I hope. Because, you look at these just human these human pariahs who have, a complete disdain for this country and who are obviously working tirelessly day in and day out to destroy it from within. And this giant lurch-looking guy, he's probably like 6'10". He's literally a giant. And I think Obama picked him because he wanted to. I'm not even going to say it because it's getting people to think that joke means something else, but it doesn't because it's true. But either way, I'm not going to say it. I'll say this, though. James Comey is the type of person who obviously we've shown categorically has broken the law. And the fact that he's not under indictment right now, the fact that he's not going into a trial right now is literally that's a stain on the Justice Department as a whole, that they can't do this because we already have the evidence. We know he leaked confidential classified documents to the press in an effort to, basically make the FBI a political tool of the Democrats. So this should be, and then not to mention all the other things, like getting into the information with whistleblower Dennis Montgomery, Mary Fanning, and Alan Jones reporting at the AmericanReport.org. Look, they've exposed the fact that dozens of hard drives were turned into James Comey's FBI in the Miami office, and none of them seemed to be anywhere to be found. And they had evidence that seemed to indicate that President Trump, with John Brennan, James Clapper, and probably the complicity of James Comey, were abusing the super surveillance tools of the intelligence community to target their political adversaries. Not to mention that the complete and total mountains of evidence that show that they violated Section 702 as far as unmasking goes, and James Comey covered for all this, not to mention what James Comey did in the Hillary Clinton investigation, where he purposefully changed the wording, had already come to conclusions before the investigation had wrapped up, and was obviously conflicted in his ability to administer the office of the director of the FBI without a complete and total political bias, which violates policies of the FBI. So there's like, I don't even know how many different things we could go after these people for. It's almost like you have to pick your own adventure type book. You open up the indictment and you can just pick any charge and go, okay, well, we could go down this rabbit hole. But this is what we're up against. These are the individuals, and these people are really truly maniacal and nefariously evil. They're seriously the Bond villain-esque type people. They are not playing to lose. They're playing to win, and they are putting everything on the line. And that's what terrifies me, is that these psychopaths are willing to do anything in order to destroy this country to avoid themselves being brought to justice, meaning that they would sacrifice our country before they would allow themselves to be brought to justice for their treason against this country. President Trump's called it treason. He's called it criminal activity. He's called it sedition. He's called it a violation of the Logan Act. He's called it exactly what it is. Yet the mainstream media acts like President Trump's crazy, and these unelected bureaucrats who are in the middle of still trying to actively put a soft coup on the president are just the unelected permanent bureaucracy. They're literally our new unelected overlords for life. James Comey and James Clapper and John Brennan and Obama and Hillary. There are unelected overlords for life, according to the press, because the press is complicit, and the press they're the ones who are going to be exposed as not only being just useless propagandists who have been purposefully lying to the American people for years and years and years in order to enrich themselves at the cost of the American people, but that they were involved in covering up in some cases and creating some of these hoaxes and false fake crimes. So this is beyond me. I mean, it's sick. Here's another doozy. Washington Post publishes piece calling for coup against President Trump led by the United States Congress. Now, who other than George Conway, the nobody who happens to be married to Kellyanne Conway, writes an op-ed, and it gets published by the Washington Post, where he calls for the United States Congress to basically enact a coup against the president. No big deal. You know, he hasn't done anything wrong. George Conway's just a psycho, a loser who is so obsessed with President Trump and is so obsessed with, I don't know, hating what his wife does. I don't understand that at all. That he's literally lost his mind. He's just gone off the deep end. And, you know, he's just an unimpressive person. The thing he's most famous for is that his wife is really smart and talented. That's what he's most famous for. And like a Krasenstein brother, just basically another paid shill, right? So, I mean, you know, he might not be getting paid by, who knows who he's getting paid by, really? But it's sick, it's disgusting, and it's predictable. They run out of things, and then they do this. And here's another little publicity stunt from the fakest person in Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This person is the fakest person I've ever seen in my life, because everything she does has a hidden agenda and motive behind it. So she doesn't do things because she genuinely is like, I really care about this issue. It's all calculated. And the more I watch her, the more I realize that it's calculated in the sense that she understands what sensationalism can do. And maybe she's, learned from the Trump model, which is fine. But this kind of sensationalism is the opposite of what is American, in my opinion. Here's a great example of it. She says, just left the first CPB facility, and I think it's Customs Border Patrol, says, I see why Customs Border Patrol officers were being so physically and sexually threatening towards me. Officers were keeping women in cells with no water and had told them to drink out of the toilets. This was on their good behavior in front of members of Congress. So here's a great example of how she lies and deceives and propagandizes. She comes and makes this statement. So obviously somebody came and told her that this happened, that there were women or people in cells drinking out of toilets. Complete BS and hearsay, and I'd put $100,000 on that not being true and not being the case. But that being said, she makes this outrageous claim. Then she literally incites all of her followers. She probably has, who knows how many millions at this point, right? 4.6 million followers. She incites her followers against the Border Patrol officers because, and makes this frivolous and outrageous claim that she was being physically and sexually threatened, which I don't even know what that means. Like, you'd have to elaborate more on that. Right? You can't just say something ridiculous and not back it up and not give us, she's famous for writing these long threads. She doesn't write anything else after this, as far as I could find. And then she says, this was them on their good behavior in front of members of Congress. It's complete BS. There's nothing here. This is all just meant to enrage this psychotic leftist Antifa driven mob that is the social progressive left today. The moderate leftists are basically literally just extremists. They're extremists with an agenda to destroy this country if they don't get their way, because that's the only way I can describe it. you start to run out of ways to describe this. But then, of course, there's Anna Giratelli, who is got this scoop. I think she works over at Fox as a contributor, but she says there's a scoop that says Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez screamed at federal law enforcement agents, quote, in a threatening manner, unquote, during a visit to the U.S. Border Patrol facility in El Paso, Texas, Monday afternoon, and refused to tour the facility, according to people who witnessed it. So this is what happened. If this is true, then she went to this Border Patrol facility, stood outside for media and cameras, screamed probably, all types of insults and threats at the Border Patrol officers who are running this facility. Then when they tried to invite her in to do a tour of it, she said, I don't want to do that. She said, I'm not going in there to see what's happening. But you know what? Somebody told me in the crowd that there are women drinking out of toilets in there. And so I'm going to stand out here and scream at you. This is, I don't even know what to say. These people they're literally just complete morons. Russia proposing a U.S. prisoner swap with the U.S. We'll see what happens there. I'm not sure about that story yet. Here's an interesting story. So this former Disney star Bella Thorne basically is coming out and saying that she was abused by from the age of 6 to 14 while working on these major Disney programs. And she obviously, I don't even know who she is, to be honest with you. I've never watched anything that she was in, but it's really sad. She says people just kind of stood around and watched and they all knew. And I don't want to play this for you, but I'll obviously leave a link so you can go watch it for yourself. It's got a lot of profanity in it, but, and I don't blame her, I guess, because she's obviously traumatized from it. And she's really, just sick of being a victim, and she's coming out and saying what she feels. So, I think it's good. I think it's really positive. So with that being said, here it is. So National Parks and Service presents a 2019 Independence Day celebration in the nation's capital. Yes, I will be there. It will be a salute to America with a little speech from President Trump at 6:30 p.m. on July 4th at the Lincoln Memorial on the National Mall. There's going to be a National Independence Day parade there, and there's going to be tanks. And there's going to be fireworks, and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for it. Even a concert looks like. So what I would say is this: I'm gonna be here. I would like to meet as many of you as I can. I'm trying to debate what I should do, how I should do this, set it up. I don't know if I should do a meetup somewhere, or we should just meet there. And if you guys see me, then you see me. I'm gonna be doing live streaming. So my whole plan is to live stream pretty much the whole thing to a degree. So I'm gonna, live stream the portions that count. Probably hopefully some of the speech from President Trump, even though who knows, I probably won't be able to get close enough for anything good. But I can say this: I will definitely be live streaming from Washington. I'll be talking to people about QAnon, talking to people about the movement, all that stuff. So I would really encourage you guys to check that out, and please go down in the comments. I'm gonna put a comment and pin it at the bottom. And I just want to get an idea of how many people are wanting to meet up here, because I did this once before just to get an idea, and there were a lot of people who said they wanted to meet up. So if you want to do that, I'll put a little comment down pinned at the bottom of this video, and you guys can leave me your thoughts about whether you want to meet there or whatever. I think it's going to be awesome. So also be careful. They just released all, to everybody across the nation, not just us in DC, but I think this was the FBI or the federal authorities just released a video talking about an Independence Day plot that may happen or may be plotting or being plotted behind the scenes. Look, we can't really do much, but if you see something, say something, and don't be afraid to call your local law enforcement and tell them what you saw. Whatever it is, as small as it may be, you never know. Your tip may, in fact, save many, many lives. So just be vigilant. If you're at your local parades in your local cities, wherever you are across the country celebrating, have fun, stay vigilant, see something, say something, call your local law enforcement. When in doubt, even if you think, you should call the feds or whatever, you can always just start by calling your local law enforcement. They will be more than happy to help you out. And they have 911 plus. You also have non-emergency lines, which are very easy to find. All you have to do is Google your local police department and Google their non-emergency line, and you can report a tip that way. So I would really encourage everyone to do that. So with that being said, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. A few more things before we go. Come here, hit the subscribe button, make sure to bell for notifications. Also, hit the like button if you guys like this content, want to see me make more. Watch these videos, share them on your social media, get the word out, because that's the only way this really gets out there is if you guys share it. And also leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. I want to hear what you guys have to think about everything that we talked about here today on this episode as well. So you guys can go do that. A few other ways you can help out the channel. Also, come find me over here at justinformednews.com. justinformednews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk. Q posts, links to different Q stuff here, links to different news organizations, links to different breaking news, and of course, the latest videos from the channel here. So you guys should go check out this website. Of course, it's justinformednews.com. Another way you can help out, come find me over on Twitter at justinformu. That's at justinformu, the letter U, on Twitter. That's the handle. That's how you find me, the official Twitter page for Just Informed Talk. We can have a conversation over here. That's a cool way to come interact as well. Also, I don't know if I'm going to be live. I might actually also do some live streaming as well to Twitter if I can get all that set up. So that's another thing that during the 4th of July, if you guys want to see the rally and kind of get a behind the scenes look at it of who's there and maybe talk some Patriots and see if there's some crazy people there, which I'm sure there will be. Yeah, you guys should go check out my Twitter as well, and you can just follow me here. And then if I'm live streaming, then you'll get notified in your Twitter stream. So that's a cool way you can do it as well. A few other ways you can help out the channel. Obviously, I have a new podcast, new channel, Just Informed Podcast. It is pretty awesome. I encourage everyone to go check it out. New video just put up a couple days ago talking about what's going on with Google and the censorship. You guys should definitely go check that out and a few other important things as well. And make sure you come here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Links to that will be, links to this channel will be in the description, as well as links to everything else. A couple other ways you can help out. Patreon, patreon.com. It's a crowdfunding website. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. You come here, you click this button, become a patron, and know that you guys are the ones that keep this channel alive. And I couldn't do what I do without you guys. Like, for instance, I couldn't go to DC if I didn't have the support of you guys. So thank you so much for your continued support of this channel. I promise to continue to provide content and give you the truth as I know it and share God's grace first and foremost. And another great way you can help out is I have a GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. Links to everything will be in the description, so you guys should go down and check that out. Before we go, we have a segment called God's Grace is Greater that we do at the end of each one of these episodes where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. And for tonight, I want to share a piece of scripture that's about protection of the Most High, like protection from God. And this is out of Psalms. It's Psalm 91, 14 through 16. But I want to share these words with you, and then we'll talk about them for a second. It says, "Because he is lovingly devoted to me, the Lord, I will deliver him. I will exalt him, because he knows my name. When he calls out to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and give him honor. I will satisfy him with a long life and show him my salvation." And that's kind of what I want to talk about, is just how the Lord is with us and how we must look to the Lord for our salvation and our deliverance. Because the Lord says, if we look lovingly and devoted and in a devoted way toward the Lord, that the Lord will deliver us. And that the Lord will exalt us because we know his name, I should say. And sharing his name, putting his name on high, living our life in a righteous way that shows that we are living by God and for God. And just remember that God will be with you in trouble, and he'll rescue you and give you honor. And you'll have a long life, and more importantly than any of that stuff, any of it, you'll have your eternal salvation. It's already been bought and paid for with the blood of Christ on the cross for our sins. So just remember that and spread that message to your family and friends. And I really have to ask a personal favor. If you guys could just pray for me as I travel to DC and everyone there. Pray for us all as we go and we travel to support this president and to support this country, and most importantly, to share in our fellowship of the Lord. Pray that God keeps us all safe wherever we are for this 4th of July. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you for watching this episode. Also, make sure you come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and hit it, punch it, smash it, whatever, hit it, the like button. If you guys like this content and want to see me make more, but that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.